G'day everyone, on a warm autumn morning I've made my way to this table drain alongside the railway line to see if I can catch a feed of yabbies. Hey you! You're watching Robbie Fishing. It's been suggested to me that I try beer steamed yabbies. So if I've got to, first of all I've got to catch some yabbies, then I've got to cook them, I've got to euthanize them and then steam them, but not in water, in beer. I've got to put beer in the saucepan and boil the beer and steam the yabbies with the beer steam. But first thing I've got to do is catch a few yabbies. So I've made my way to this table drain here. I am right next to the railway line. I've got my two homemade yabby nets or yabby traps, and they're baited with redfin bits and pieces. I'm in Victoria, I'm allowed to use redfin here. You're not allowed to use it in New South Wales, which is a bit odd. Anyway, let's throw the two nets in and see if we can catch some yabbies. Now, I'm not sure what the go is in New South Wales. You can use carp as yabby bait and crayfish bait, but you can't use redfin. I don't know why that is. Anyway, let's put that net in there. Now, just like this bait is illegal in New South Wales, so are these nets. I made these nets. I made a video on how I made them, and I mentioned, you know, I conform with the Victorian regulations, the right size limit and whatnot, but in New South Wales, the funnel diameter is smaller than Victoria, so if I was in New South Wales, I'd be using illegal nets with illegal bait in them, but here in Victoria, everything's good. Including the placement of that net, because that's in the right spot to catch a few monster yabbies. Right, both nets are in. It's late April. It's not a good time of year to catch yabbies. It's very late in the season and the water's quite cold, so I'm not expecting to catch heaps. But this is a cooking experiment. I want to see what it's like to cook yabbies in beer steam. I've never done it before. I only need to catch 2 or 3 and I'll be able to accomplish that. But if I catch more, well, that's even better. Anyway, I've got a busy day today. If I get a chance, I'll come back and check them later on. If not, I'll come and check them tomorrow morning. Welcome back. It's been about nearly 3 hours since I put these in, but it's been 3 daylight hours. Have I found any yabbies in that time? I'm not expecting much. And that's what I'm getting, not much. Oh well. Night time's always better in these sort of spots, I reckon. When I say these sort of spots, I sort of mean clear water spots. Like, the water's dirty, it's not clear, but it's clearer than dirty. We'll just leave it at that. I know what I'm talking about. Right, net number 2. Just shallow there. And if it's ever gonna happen, it'll happen tonight. Catch them yabbies, catch them yabbies. I can just make out the bait in the net down there. Yeah, the water, it's clearer than it looks. It looks really dirty, but I can actually just see the meat in my net about 15 or 20 centimetres under the water. So that, to a yabby, that's probably quite clear, and I reckon they'll come out tonight when it's dark. Good luck, nets. I'll see you in the morning. How cool is that? That is one very placid black snake. Did you see that? Even when the camera was right up in his face, he just came over and sniffed it. He came over and had a look at it and then turned around. See you later, mate. Righto, I'm back. It's time to check these nets. It's actually past time. It's 4:15. It was about lunchtime yesterday. 1, 2, 3, 4. So these nets have been in for about, they haven't been checked for about 28 hours. I'm excited. I've got all my cooking gear with me. Even if I just catch 2 or 3, that'll be enough to see how this beer steaming yabby system works. Oh yes, there's some in here, look. Oh yeah, oh huge. Oh look, there's 1, 2, 3, there's 5 nice ones. One of them's quite big, the other 3 are quite nice. 5 nice sized yabbies, and nice and dark out of this dark water around gum trees and stuff as well. Awesome! I've done better than I thought. Hopefully I can get down and get some water in this bucket without without it ending in disaster. Right. Yes! I'm excited. I'll just tip them out. I made these nets and they're good, but you can cut your hands if you're not careful. One, they're a bit slow, but they're all alive. I have had times late in the season when the water's cold when you can check the nets and some of the yabbies can be just motionless. Awesome! I'm excited. Right, Loretta and Holly have just dropped me off. They were worried to see if I caught any yabbies before they left. 5 nice yabbies. Even if there's nothing in this net, then I've still got enough. Yes, I can see something in here. Oh, you look at them all. Whoa, there's only 3, but one of them is enormous. One of them yabbies is just enormous. Where's my latch? Yeah. It's a bit slow. That often happens this time of the year, but they're might be best if I just tip them out. Look at the size of that claw. Look at that huge big claw sticking out under there. He's alive, he's moving, he's just a bit slow. Let go of the meat, mate. Yeah. They're not flick, 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 flick. That one's got a bit of action, a bit of movement in him. They're not super active, but they're alive. So he's flicking his tail a bit. Look at the size of that claw. That's a massive claw. Awesome. Let's go and start cooking. Come on, pose for a thumbnail. Pose, 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 pose. Pose, pose, pose. Get back. Get back onto the chopping board. Get back. Pose. Thumbnail's never been so hard. It's so much easier to get the thumbnail photo once they're cooked and... Well, I'll take my nets off the table. I've just got them there for the thumbnail. I've been stuffing around for a while trying to get the thumbnail ready. Now, I've got a little gas stove down here. I've just got an old kitchen steamer from home. I'll probably euthanize the yabbies, take their tails off and just steam their tails, although I would like to do 1 or 2 whole as well, just to see how they come out. I reckon I'll need probably 1.5 stubbies in there, so I'll use that one. I'll drink half of that one. But I brought 6 with me just in case that's not enough. Right, now, let's get to work. Righto. I've decided to use Carlton Draft for my beer because it's just a real strong, full flavoured beer. I reckon 1 will nearly be enough, you know, or I'll put half of my other half in. I don't want to waste too much beer cooking yabbies with it. I reckon that'll be plenty. I'll put that on there and I'll get that ready to go. Oh, she's a goer. Yeah. Literally, now we're cooking with hot gas. These things are handy, these little plastic legs you can clip onto the bottom of these small backpack canisters just to make it a bit more stable when you've got a larger pot like I have on here. You still want to make sure the pot's centred though because you don't want it to tip over. Now I've euthanized my yabbies. You didn't see that, but I can see there's a cut. I deliberately don't show that on the video, but I cut down through there with a knife and I just cut the head clean in half. Now, a little trick I want to show you, I've shown this plenty of times before, but just in case you've missed it, is to grab the yabby under the tail, twist and remove the tail. That's how you do it when you're cooking them. I'm going to throw the scraps in here and feed the remaining yabbies. Now, this is the trick. You fan that open, you get the fins at the end there and you open that, you grab the middle one, pull it or you twist it, then you pull it and the pipe comes out, so that once that's cooked, all I've got to do is rip the shell off, pull the meat out, and it's ready to go. I'll go and get the others ready. It's already boiling, I'm not even ready. Gee, that happened quicker than I thought it would. I better hurry up. Now that started boiling way quicker than I expected it to. Wow. Right, let's put the tails. 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at the size of that tail. 5, 6, 7 tails. I've got some of the biggest claws. I've got the biggest claw. Look at the size of that claw. That claw is longer than my little finger and as fat as my thumb. That is a huge claw. This one I'm going to do whole. He's been euthanized. He's dead. I'll do him whole. Right, I'll put all them in. I'll crank the heat back up a bit. Get it boiling. This is a cool little chopping board. This came into my mail time to the young fella that made it, and I'm really, really sorry that I've forgotten your name, but it is an absolute ripper. All this hard work. Which one of these has still got a little bit in it? This one. Needs a drink. As I open a stubby so that I can have a drink while I'm cooking, I want to talk to you about something. Carlton Draft is quite nice. Right, I'll take my camera off my head while I'm filming. Just keep an eye on this to make sure it doesn't boil over. Now, what I want to talk to you about. Drink driving. Don't worry, I'm not going to lecture you, but I'm going to tell you a story that's a real eye-opener. I've had about half of one because 1.5 went into there. I've got 6 with me, but I'm not driving. Look. There's no car anywhere. I've got Loretta and Holly with me, and they've gone for a drive with their cameras, and they'll pick me up when I'm finished. I'm not driving. Now, I'd probably only have 1, maybe 2 if I had to drive, and that'd be the end of it. A friend of mine, who I'm not going to name, got caught drink driving recently. He had 4 Victorian bitter stubbies while he was on a ride on mower mowing a friend's lawn, and he thought it'd be okay. Driving back into town, he got put on the bag and he blew .06. Just a little weeny bit over. Now, for his effort, being just a little weeny bit over, you're allowed to be .05 here in Victoria, but no more. His blood alcohol concentration was .06. So he's lost his licence for 3 months. Not only has he lost his licence for 3 months, he's also got a big fine. I think it was $580. I could have these numbers around the wrong way, and I'm telling you this story because this has scared the life out of me, and it'll probably scare the life out of you too. So for just being a little bit over, he's done his licence for 3 months. He's got a fine of like $580 or something. Then he's had to book in and do a driver safety training course, which would be just an attack on your dignity more than anything. But not only does he have to put time aside to do this course, he's also got to pay something like $400 to do the course. Then he has to get an interlock put into his car when he gets his licence back in May, and I think that's a couple of $100 again. And then every 6 months, he's got to have that interlock calibrated. He's got to make an appointment and go down and get it calibrated, and it's a couple of $100 each time. For being just a mouthful or two over the blood alcohol limit, it's going to cost him around about $2,500 in fees, courses, interlocker services and everything, as well as extra for taxi fares and the inconvenience of not having a licence for 3 months, as well as the inconvenience of having to go and do courses and go to the mechanics and get calibrations done. What a major, major, major hassle to be just like 1 or 2 mouthfuls over the bag limit. I can only imagine how dreadful it must be for people who are a lot over the limit. He was low range. Imagine what it's like for people who are caught high range drink driving. How are they looking? Yeah, a fair bit of steam passing through there. I honestly don't know how long to steam them for. I reckon I'll steam them for about 5-6 minutes and see how that goes. This plate's a bit grotty. I'll put them onto there when they come out, and then I've got a nice clean plate down here to put them on when I'm ready to eat them. It actually smells nice. I can smell the beer steam and it smells good. You know, I read the other day that by law, you've got to turn your car headlights on when it's raining in Sweden. How the hell am I supposed to know when it's raining in Sweden? Right, how are my yabbies looking? I reckon they're about done. Righto. They can go onto the dirty plate first. Oh, look at them. I wonder if you could drink that when it cools down. I wouldn't be trying. They look good. Might try and shell them and then put the shells on this clean, put the meat on this clean plate. So I'm just going to pull the sides off. I'm trying to hold this up high so you can see it. Pull the meat out. The pipe's already been taken out of that, so that can just go straight on that plate, ready to go. And the shells just go over there in the water for the next lot of yabbies. Fatten them up. What about the full one? What's that like? Oh, that'd break in half pretty easy. Get that dirty crap off there. Take the shell off. Pull it out of the tail. I'll pull the cap off the back. I haven't got any water with me to wash it. Oh, well. Get most of that stuff off anyway. Righto, here's me few tails. Look at the size of that claw. I'm just dumbfounded by the size of that claw. I'll eat these tails. Claws, you sort of chew on them and eat them as you go. They're not the sort of thing you can shell and put the meat aside. So I'll eat these tails, then I'll chew on these claws, and then I'll get back to you and tell you how good they tasted, because I know they're going to taste good. That is so nice. Just salt maybe. A little bit of Coles Himalayan pink salt. Let's see how that goes. Oh, that's the best. Hey! Hey! Yabbies and beer, the winning combination. I wonder what the people on that train thought. There's a guy standing there waving a stubby in the air, just standing in the middle of nowhere with a table with cooking utensils, a few empty stubbies, no car anywhere. But that one's got him stumped. Folks, that was awesome. That was very, very nice. Of all the different ways I've eaten yabbies, that was right up there with one of the best. The texture was different. It was like, yabbies are soft meat, but this was even softer than normal, and it was almost falling apart in my mouth. It was just so good. I can't remember who suggested that I try beer steamed yabbies, but if you know who you are and you're watching, thanks very much for the great tip, and thank you all very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Now better call the red and ask for a lift home.